So, you're growing a business. That's fantastic. But there's this one mistake that could be costing you way more than you think. And no, it's not about marketing, it's not about sales, it's about something way more fundamental: defining roles. Today, we're going to dig into why getting this right isn't just about efficiency. It's actually one of your most important and ethical jobs as a leader.
I bet this question hits home for any founder out there. In the beginning, you have to be everything, right? You're the CEO, you're the marketing team, you're the one taking out the trash. You are the business. But what happens when you finally start to grow and bring people on board? And that leads us right into what we can call the founder's trap. It's that really tricky, messy transition from doing it all yourself to actually leading a team. It's a journey every single successful business has to go through. And I'm sure this progression looks pretty familiar. It starts with just you, doing literally everything. Then you hire that first person, probably just to get some basic tasks off your plate. But then you add more people, the work gets more complicated, and suddenly you hit a wall. That informal just get it done system that worked before, it completely falls apart. And you realize you don't just need more people, you desperately need structure. You need clearly defined roles. Because if you don't build that structure, that's when growth gets really, really messy. This is where all these hidden costs start creeping in, creating this chaotic environment that can just quietly kill your business from the inside. So what's the number one problem this chaos creates? It's simple: confusion. When roles are fuzzy, your team members can literally show up to work and have no idea what they're supposed to be focused on for the day. And that kind of uncertainty, it is an absolute killer for productivity and for morale. This really shows the disconnect from the employee's point of view. They join your company thinking they're going to use their specific skills in a clear role, but in a chaotic system, they're just getting hit with random demands, things way outside their comfort zone, and a bunch of responsibilities they never, ever signed up for. This isn't just bad management, it's a breach of the trust they put in you when they took the job. And the cost of this chaos is very real. It breaks down into four big things: that constant confusion over what to do each day, the broken trust we just talked about, an inability for you to manage expectations because the goalposts are always moving, and finally, nobody knows who is actually responsible for what. It is a perfect recipe for total frustration. And this is why we have to flip the script on this. Defining roles isn't just about making a pretty org chart for the wall. It's an ethical choice. It's you, as a leader, making a conscious decision to set your team up to win, not to fail. This quote right here gets straight to the heart of it. When you don't define a role, you might be making demands on someone that are just fundamentally unfair. You're asking them to do things they never agreed to, things they weren't prepared for. It's like changing the rules of the game halfway through without telling them. And for a leader, that's a serious ethical problem. But when you get this right, oh man, the benefits are huge and they're felt everywhere. For the business, you can actually manage goals properly. For your employee, they get to shine in their own lane, which feels amazing. And for you, the leader, you can finally manage expectations in a way that's fair and productive. It is a true win-win-win. Okay, so how do we actually get this clarity? Well, luckily, there's a brilliantly simple tool you can use. It's called the elevator pitch test. The concept is just incredibly simple. The goal is that both you and your team members should be able to explain their role and their main responsibilities in like 30 seconds, the time it takes to ride an elevator. If you can both do that and your pitches match up, boom, you've got alignment. Here's how it works in 3 easy steps. First, you, the leader, create that short, clear pitch for the role. Step 2, you share it with them and make sure they get it so well they can basically say it back to you in their own words. And once that happens, you've hit step 3. Total clarity and perfectly aligned expectations. And think about the power this simple exercise gives you. You can now confidently introduce that person to anyone, a new client, a partner, another employee, and say with 100% certainty, this is their title, this is what they own. If you have questions about X, go talk to them. It empowers them, and it clarifies accountability for absolutely everyone. All right, this brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, and honestly, it might be the hardest part of this whole thing. It's the internal shift every founder has to make. You have to learn to let go so your team and your company can actually grow. I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? It's so simple, but it's so incredibly hard for founders to do. You hired a smart, capable person for a reason. Now you have to trust them to do the work without constantly looking over their shoulder or, worse, grabbing the work back for yourself. Because when you give your team that trust and that clarity, you're giving them something priceless. You're giving them the freedom to thrive, the autonomy to figure out challenges on their own, and the focus they need to smash their goals. You're not just delegating tasks anymore, you're building future leaders. So here's the challenge I want to leave you with. Take a good, hard look at your company right now. For every single person on your team, could you and they both pass the elevator pitch test today? If the answer is no, or even maybe, then you know exactly where your work as a leader needs to begin.